You guys reach the lecture room at 9:15. Why? Where is the focus? Where is the discipline? Where is the commitment? So if you don't have these three ingredients, I mean, it's not going to help you in any way. You're just going to lag behind. And I think that is the reason why people have not been able to understand that if you have discipline, even that much discipline in you, it's going to take you a long, long way. Why do people actually, people ask me, sir, why do you touch the floor of theater that you perform? माथा क्यों टेकते हैं आप? अगर आप टेम्पल में जाते हैं या गुरुद्वारा में जाते हैं, कहीं भी रिलीजियस जगह पे जाते हैं, आप माथा टेकते हैं. क्यों टेकते हैं? To take the blessings of your elders. So in the same way, जब हम माथा टेकते हैं स्टेज पे या हाथ लगाते हैं अपने चेस्ट पे, we are wanting to take the blessings of those people who have walked on that stage, who've performed on that stage. My advice to actors who want to become actors in this whole group that you have, this whole Spring Fest, one thing remember, if you want to be actors, do serious theater for 5 to 7 years. Do not use theater as a stepping stone to the film industry. Lots of people think that, oh, somebody has come to see me. Let's say Subhash Ghai has come to see me in a play and he likes me. That doesn't mean that he's going to give you a role. So do not use that. Use theater as your passion. Yes, you want to earn money, please go to the films. But do not use that as a stepping stone to the film industry. It is very, very difficult to understand. I can understand why people want to become actors, because there's a lot of glamour, glitz, money, all that. But that doesn't come easily. There are lots of people who are born with a golden spoon but still haven't been able to make it. And lots of people who are still looking for that golden spoon in a thali. सारी कटोरियां खाली हैं, प्लेट खाली है, कहां से शुरू करें? वो एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या है आज के नौजवानों की. You need to speak, you need to introspect, as Aneet said, you did a lot of introspection. You need to introspect and say to yourself, am I wanting to become an actor? Or is it because Kashvi is an actor, I want to become an actor? That should not be the case. You have to make up your own mind. Just because you see a flock of friends going from your city to Mumbai doesn't mean you pack your bags and follow them. That is not what you want to do. That is not what your parents have been, bringing you up for. Finish your education. There is no dearth. There's no time. Age is not the factor here. You can start acting even at the age of 40. Doesn't really matter. But you need to be disciplined. You need to finish your education. Do your education. Get it. I know a degree in today's times holds no value. Very true. And lots of people who do engineering, like people like you from IIT Kharagpur, suddenly get into acting, suddenly get into writing. What happened with permanent roommates? All those guys were IITs from various IIT universities, IITs. And all of them I landed up with permanent roommates. I mean, come on. But at least they did their education. They finished what they wanted to do. They looked out of the door and they said, okay, let's do this. We have time. They had aspirations about being writers. They were fantastic writers. Permanent Roommates will still be one of my favorite shows. We never knew what we were getting into. That was the first web show that was brought to this country by TVF. We didn't know a damn thing कि कैसा होगा. हमने उस शो में एक नया पैसा नहीं लिया. अगर लिया हो तो शायद फ्यूल का पैसा लिया हो. But we decided that we wanted to do it. Let's do it. I didn't know what I was getting into. But then I enjoyed that journey so completely. To one of the two finest actors I have met, Sumit and Nidhi. I mean, they are absolutely fantastic. And playing Nidhi's father was even more exhilarating for me. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, these kind of questions don't come to to a father, man. I'm having a living relationship. I don't know what the hell living relationships are. And suddenly you ask this man who's who doesn't know a damn shit about it. So it opened my eyes to a lot of things. We did season two, and I told them, let's do another season. I don't know what happened to them. They just did not feel the need to do another season. They wanted to leave it on a high. Fine, very well, no problem. Because if they'd done another season and if it was not up to the mark, people would have said, "अरे यार क्यों किया ये season? वहीं छोड़ देते जहाँ उन्होंने छोड़ा था." So there were a lot of opportunities uh, that did not, you know, come my way, or I don't know. I mean, I was probably disillusioned by the fact that I am an actor of some caliber. But then, yeah, after Dangal came Talwar, and Talwar was a fantastic film to do. It gave me an opportunity to work with one of the finest directors in today's times, which is Meghna Gulzarji and Irfan, of course. What an actor! I mean, there was no comparison to Irfan as far as acting was concerned. The closest that anyone comes to Irfan is Nasir. The kind of, with the ease with which they perform on screen is unbelievable. And Irfan, you can make out those big eyes. सामने ही आते ही वो एक्टर को डरा देते थे अपनी एक्टिंग से नहीं अपनी आंखों से. So it was a fantastic experience, and it was a very difficult film to do. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix, I think. Please do watch it. It's on a real incident that happened, true
Yes,
case,
sir. I've
with
seen it.
Harushi murder case. Fantastic film to do. And then, of course, things changed my life so completely with Razi. Razi was a turning point in my life. There, I thought that yes, finally, people have recognized me as an actor. What I did in Razi, I don't know, but I've been doing the same kind of stuff in television and in films before Razi. And how come people recognized me during Razi is a question mark. But anyway, I'm not getting into that. I got the accolades, I got the appreciation, I got the fame, I got the recognition. All that is there, yes, because that is one film. And as Nasir said in one of his interviews with Anupama Chopra, that you may be the world's greatest actor, but if you're not remembered by a particular film, doesn't really matter. So I am remembered, fortunately for me, because of Razi, and then of course came the big Uri. Vicky Kaushal became an overnight superstar. Fantastic for him. He's a fabulous person to work with, a super human being. I had a great time working with him in Razi, and Uri, of course, took the cake. Because when we were shooting for Razi, he told me, "Sir, I am going to be doing a film after this. Again, it's a war film." So he did not disclose the name because, I mean, he was tight-lipped about it. Uh, he had obviously signed an NDA with them. I asked him, I said, "If you don't want to disclose the film, can you at least tell the director that, you have somebody here who's playing your father in Razi, if you can cast him, because it's a war film." So he said, "ठीक है, मैं बताऊंगा whenever I meet them." We were in Patiala at that time. Fine. वो स्टोरी खत्म हो गई, हमने कभी बात नहीं की उसके बारे में, जाने दिया. मैं मड आइलैंड से घर जा रहा था, अंधेरी. घर पहुंचते पहुंचते मुझे एक फोन कॉल आता है, "सर, प्लीज कैन यू कम एंड मीट सो एंड सो डायरेक्टर." सो आई सेड, "ठीक है, मेरे को प्लीज एड्रेस बता दीजिए. आई एम गोइंग होम, आई विल कम, बिफोर आई गो होम आई विल कम एंड मीट यू." ठीक. मैं चला गया वहाँ. वहाँ मैं क्या देखता हूँ, पूरा मेकअप का सेटअप है. ये डायरेक्टर साहब बैठे हुए हैं, राइटर साहब बैठे हुए हैं, मेकअप आर्टिस्ट खड़े हुए हैं, और एक यूनिफॉर्म टंगा हुआ है. So I said, "Yeah, tell me." "Sir, we want you to play the general in Uri." I Frankly, I did not know what hit me. The first person I called was Vicky. He said, "Vicky, I am playing the general and you have scenes with me, and I'm absolutely thrilled, overjoyed, over the moon." He said, "Sir, I know they had cast you long before. They wanted to meet you." So I said, "Oh, I didn't know this." So I went, got my hair done, makeup, wore the costume, took photographs, because every time you do an army officer, you need to send the photographs to the army headquarters in Delhi. So we did all that, and I said, "Are we supposed to wait for the reply from them, or am I on board?" So the director, Mr. Dhar, said, "No." Aditya said, "You are on board as far as I'm concerned. Pack your bags, and we're leaving day after tomorrow." For where? For Serbia. I said, "Are you shooting in Serbia?" He said, "Yes." So the entire film was shot in Serbia, except for the last party sequences, which were shot in Mumbai. So we went to Serbia, we shot extensively. Of course, if you've seen the film, Vicky shot extensively. All those jungle sequences getting into the Pakistan territory, everything was shot in Serbia because it had the kind of terrain that they wanted. And then, of course, came another Nitesh Tiwari film, and he called me himself this time and he said, "Shishir, I want you to do Chichore. Just come. I'm not taking no for an answer." So I said, "Okay, I'll come. Definitely." I mean, Nitesh Tiwari calling and me saying, "No, I'm sorry, I don't have time," was not on. So I went, met him, explained the character to me. And there I was playing the doctor with a person whom I had known for almost 10 years, because Sushant used to work in Film City in a show called Pavitra Rishta, and I was doing a show called Yame Ghar Ghar Kheli. So we had common friends. So he used to come over for lunch. We used to go there for lunch. So I knew him, but I've never acted with him. So when I came to know that he's in the film and we have a lot of scenes together, I was really very excited. Shraddha Kapoor is a fabulous person to work with, soft spoken, doesn't get into you at all. She apne kaam se kaam rakhti hai. So yeah, there were lots of. Unfortunately, I had no interaction with the other actors, but except for Sushant and Shraddha. So yeah, my life changed completely with Razi. A lot more offers came, a lot more films came. Web series started the journey for lots of actors, and I'm glad, because that is where uh, new talent that we see in today's times has really blossomed. If you've seen shows like Jamtara, if you've seen shows like She, Aditi Pohankar is probably one of the finest actors I've seen on the web. She was brilliant in She. Please do watch that show. Yeah, it is kind of adultish, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, you guys are all adults anyway. There's a show called Jamtara, which is what is happening in today's times. There's so many cyber frauds that are happening. Every day you read कि इसके 12 लाख चले गए, उसके 60,000 चले गए, उसके 25,000 चले गए. कैसे जाते हैं? वो क्रेडिट कार्ड से ही जाते हैं. So Jamtara it's a place, Jamtara. So that's where this show originated. Of course, there are lots of shows that have come, and lots of beautiful shows that are coming. Family Man was one. Brilliant show. I thought the first season was absolutely Sacred Games. The first season was absolutely superb. But then there are certain limitations probably that people have, or the filmmakers have, or the production houses have, in creating that same buzz that created uh, the first season for them. So sometimes you just go haywire. I did a show with Raj Kaushal, Mandira Bedi's husband, who unfortunately died uh, very recently. a couple of, I think about 4, 5, 6 months back. He had a heart attack and he died. I did a show called Akkad Bakkad Rafu Chakkar. If you watch it, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It's uh, it's like the Money Heist, unfo- except that Money Heist they rob a bank. In this, we create a bank and we rob it. So if you have to watch it, please watch it. So it gave a lot of actors a lot of opportunities to work in television, in web series. A lot of new talent came. People didn't know where this talent was. Jaideep Alawat, who did Razi with Me, who trains Alia Bhatt. If you've seen a show of his where he single-handedly, on his own shoulders, took that show to a different level, which was Patal Lok. It's an absolutely amazing show. Yes, it has a lot of foul language, all
Yes.
that is there. It is an absolutely amazing show. And Jaideep, I hadn't seen him before. I mean, he was there in gangs of Vasaipur and so on and so forth, but I had never seen him. I only met him on the sets of Razi, although we didn't have any scenes together. But yes, when you do costume trials, when you do readings and so on and so forth, you meet. So there are actors who've come a long, long way, waited for their time, but they have been successful in at least what they have done. It doesn't mean that every time you want to leave home and come here that you get the kind of work that you want. No, it does not necessarily mean that at all. But sometimes you may be lucky. Luck also plays an important, very important part in everybody's lives. So जो भी अगर काम करना है शिद्दत से करो, पढ़ाई करनी है शिद्दत से करो, एक्टिंग करनी है शिद्दत से करो. There are no shortcuts to anything. There are lots of actors today who go to the gym. What do they do in the gym? Lift weights, look at themselves in the mirrors for 6 hours. You come back home, you look at the same body for 3 hours. For what? ये मसल ये हो गया, ये मसल ये हो गया. अरे क्या है? उतना ही टाइम अगर आप लोग स्पेंड करेंगे कि कुछ पढ़ लें, मुंशी प्रेमचंद ही पढ़ लो. He's probably one of the simplest of Hindi writers. I tell you a story. I mean, I'm not going to name people in this, but there was somebody who said, who they were having a meeting and they said, uh, एक बहुत अच्छी कहानी है, राइटर हैं मुंशी प्रेमचंद, और हम चाहते हैं कि वो कहानी ये प्रोडक्शन हाउस करे. वो कहानी सुनाई वगैरह वगैरह बहुत कुछ हो गया. तो सडनली जो बॉस थे वो उठ के पूछते हैं उससे कि काम करो, कल ना मुंशी प्रेमचंद को ऑफिस में बुला लो. 57 साल हो गए उसको मरे हुए. दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस पीपल हैव इन दिस कंट्री. आप साहित्य नहीं पढ़ते हैं, हिंदी हिंदी कविताएं नहीं पढ़ते हैं. यू वांट टू कॉपी द वेस्ट. You only want to do what the West does. You only want to read those kind of novels. You only want to see those kind of films. Why don't we have that kind of literature in our own country? There's a lot of contemporary literature. Vijay Tendulkar wrote such beautiful films which Shyam Benegal made. Fantastic films which Govind Nilani made. Ardha Satya. Nasi's and Ompuri's brilliant, brilliant performances. मुंशी प्रेमचंद ही पढ़ लो. मैं किसी और की बात ही नहीं कर रहा. ही इज द सिंपलेस्ट ऑफ द राइटर्स. मैंने एक शो किया था जिसका नाम था बड़े भाई साहब. एक कहानी है, 22 मिनट की कहानी है. हम वो कहानी शो के पहले किया करते थे ऑन स्टेज. दुबे जी हैड दिस वेरी यूनिक आइडिया कि ठीक है, काशवी और अनित आ गए, क्षितिज भी आ गए, शरयू भी आ गई, चलो ये सब लोग आ गए, लेकिन गौरव और निशांत नहीं आए. 3 बेल चली गई हैं. They are not going to miss the play because Dubiji had this idea that before the play, before the latecomers come in, we will do something for the audience that is already in the theater. उनको क्यों वेट करके रखें? तो हम ये छोटे छोटे कहानियां करते थे या पोएम्स करते थे. Then Dubeji, after this, used to give that fourth bell. फिर निशांत और गौरव अंदर करते थे. So it's very important for people to understand that there is a certain discipline that goes with being an actor. You need to reach on time. You need to be prepared with your lines. You need to be prepared with what kind of a role you have to do. You need to be prepared for any questions that may be asked of you. And when I say questions, you have to be absolutely ready. कि काशवी का डायलॉग खत्म हुआ और अनित का डायलॉग शुरू होता है, उसके बाद मेरा डायलॉग होता है, तो आई हैव टू बी अटेंटिव. ये नहीं कि हाँ यार इनका चल रहा है, मैं पेज पे, अच्छा ये मेरा डायलॉग है, कितने पेज, हाँ ठीक, 20th पेज पे मेरा डायलॉग है, मैं भूल जाऊंगा, देखता हूँ. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. You have to be attentive with every page that is being read. Whether you are in that particular page or in that particular scene or not really doesn't matter. Because at least you must know what the play is all about or what the film is all about. Sometimes the director may say, okay, Shishir, why don't you just speak Anit's lines? Let's see. अब अनित की लाइन किधर है यार? अरे किधर ढूंढते रह जाएंगे आप. तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. There are lots of actors who think that नहीं यार, हम उसकी लाइंस याद रख के क्या करेंगे. मैं आपको एक बात बताता हूँ. मैं रत्ना पाठक शाह के साथ एक प्ले कर रहा था और चलते प्ले में I blanked out. Completely blank. I didn't know what was happening. I just kept looking at Ratna. She kept looking at me. I don't know what happened. And there was a full house at Prithvi. Ratna, fortunately, from somewhere, picked up a line because she knew what my lines were. That is why you have to be so attentive to know not only your line, but to know everybody's lines. So that when you get stuck, you're not stuck. Then you can actually then improvise and get onto the play and start working towards doing that particular scene. So all in all, I think being an actor is not that easy. You need to be on the ball all the time. You need to understand that there's a certain amount of क्या बोलते हैं उसको, dedication that comes with being an actor. It comes a point where you need to work towards not only being a good actor, but being a good human being, trying to surpass your expectations, not the expectation of the others, because that will never end. Expectations will always, when you raise the bar to a certain level, you need to be uh, working towards at least that bar, if not a higher bar. So, जो भी करना है, मन से करो, लगन से करो, and I don't think you can go wrong. Whether it be acting, whether it be a business, whether it be studies, whether it be working in a multinational, shiddat se karo, I don't think you can go wrong. But discipline is very, very important. Commitment is extremely important, and focus on what you're doing is extremely important. Whoa, I have spoken for almost an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you.
That was a great insight into your beautiful journey. And we sure were going to ask about your favorite medium of acting, which is answered theater.
Yeah, I know it has to be theater. It cannot be anything else. I mean, I have worked on stage, and I'm still working on stage. So it gives you the butterflies in your stomach to no end. And if you don't have those butterflies, then you can just forget about acting,
Yes,
because you need to have those butterflies. Whether you go when you go for an examination, you still have those butterflies, right?
yes, sir.
I still have those butterflies when I give a shot, because I don't know whether I'm doing it correctly or not. Yes, later on, once the shot is done and the director comes to you and says, no, I think we need to do it again, and this is how I want you to do it, fine. But the very first time you do a rehearsal or you do a take or you get onto stage, it is the butterflies that really bother you so much. But then yeah, that is part and parcel of being an actor.
Yeah, and when I told my parents that I would be sitting here with you like that, they immediately remembered your role from Swabiman, and we surely remember you from newer roles in Dangal, Chichore, and all. But yeah, so that
Yeah,
was yeah,
it's a journey that people like your parents will probably remember, and yeah, the older generation will remember
and
what
yeah.
Swabiman was all about.
I'm sure people would here would have got a lot of tips about becoming an actor, and not just an actor, just a person in general.
I
Through
think it is very important, to be a good human being.
yeah,
Uh,
discipline, focus, and commitment would help in any ways.
Profession comes later on, but to be a good human being, if you have to be at a particular place at 9 o'clock, try and be there 5 minutes to 9, so that nobody can actually point a finger and say, Kashvi, you're late today. You're
Yes,
going to sit 10 minutes after 9 o'clock in the
yes,
night. Nobody can point a finger and say, sir, you came at 9:15, so I think you should work till 9:30.
yes, sir.
Doesn't happen with me. In
Yes, sir.
fact, I'm a nervous traveler too. I get to the airport 2 hours before my flight time. Doesn't really matter, but at least I'm there. I
Yes, sir.
don't want to get caught in traffic. I don't want to have the tension कि सब लोग honk कर रहे हैं और मेरी गाड़ी नहीं आगे बढ़ रही है. फ्लाइट का टाइम हो रहा है, मैं कैसे पहुंचूंगा, क्या होगा, all that no. मैं अपनी पैकिंग एक हफ्ते पहले ही कर लेता हूँ. ठीक है, वो लास्ट मोमेंट पे पैकिंग होती है कि हाँ ये रह गया, वो रह गया, ऑल दैट इज देयर, बट मैं अपनी पैकिंग, कुछ कुछ कपड़े रह जाते हैं, कुछ जो चाहिए होते हैं वो डाल देता हूँ, बाद में फिर सोचता हूँ कि हाँ ये लेके जाऊँ, नहीं लेके जाऊँ. तो आई एम दैट काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन. सो आई थिंक being a good human being a disciplined person carries a lot of weight. Why do you think आर्मी में इतना डिसिप्लिन होता है?
Yes, sir.
सुबह 5 बजे उठना है तो 5 बजे उठना है. ये नहीं कह सकते कि मेरा सर दर्द कर रहा है, मैं 7 बजे आऊंगा. ऐसा नहीं होता. आप रन पे जाते हैं, जो एक्सरसाइजेज होती हैं सुबह, वो सुबह ही होती हैं. आप नहीं कह सकते कि नहीं यार कल करें, मैं आज मूड नहीं है मेरा. ऐसा थोड़ी होता. तो या सो यू नीड टू हैव द डिसिप्लिन, एंड मोस्ट एक्टर्स डू नॉट हैव द डिसिप्लिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm sure we can all sit here and listen to you talk for hours, but we'll have to end our session here.
Please, yeah, I'm more
Thank
than
you so much.
to all of you for having me. And yeah, I'd like to one day come when everything is slightly better, come to IIT Kharagpur, maybe next year,
Yes,
and
sir.
we talk to all of you. I mean, it's great having an audience when you talk to an audience, because you get an immediate, response from the
Yes,
audience. You can't talk to an empty screen, and that is why I requested Vimal to have some participants or some students from IIT. And if there is anybody that wants to ask me any questions, you're more than welcome.
yes, sir. So thank you so much for enlightening us with your valuable
Thank
timely
you.
words.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We're honored to have you here. Such a
Thank you.
lovely talk. Thank you so much.
So much.
खत्म हो गया.
हाँ,
Stream.
कितना खतरनाक. रिकॉर्डिंग डन. सहर्ष आराम से भाई.
हाँ रिकॉर्डिंग हो गया.
Anil Tankash, you did well, yaar. Yes.
Okay, great guys, well done. It's
And we'll make them check for
जल्दी कर तू ये.
all the participants, or they will check.
एक
They
मिनट.
can see the participants list, right? Yeah.